Marking the resurrection of Jesus Christ, people celebrate Easter today. Well, how do we know that Jesus has risen from the dead? Well, let's all take John chapter 20 in our Bibles. We see a woman, Mary Magdalene, going to the tomb where Jesus' body was laid. When she reached there, she saw the stone being taken away. She thought that Jesus' body was also taken away. So she quickly goes to Simon Peter and John and tells them about this. Simon Peter and John also runs to the tomb, and we see Peter going into the tomb, only to see that Jesus' body is not there, and the linen clothes and the handkerchief which was wrapped around Jesus' head folded and kept separately. We see John believing that Jesus' body has been taken away and not that Jesus has risen. The scriptures has mentioned that Jesus will die and then he'll rise again after 3 days. Even Jesus himself also told the disciples. But they didn't understand it, so they ignored it. This is what happens in our life. When God tells us something, we tend to ignore it, and this ignorance leads to uncertainty and confusion in our life. After the disciples went home, we see Mary Magdalene still sitting there and weeping. Looking at the other books, we can see that Mary, the mother of Jesus, and Salome has also went with her to anoint the body of Jesus. There two angels appear and ask her why she is weeping. She is weeping because she couldn't serve her Lord. She came there to anoint the body of Jesus, and now she can't do it. That's why she is weeping. This happens in our life. Do we grieve when we can't serve the Lord? Do we get sad when we can't spend time in His presence? Well, what we do is we usually get so lazy, so busy in our lives that we tend to forget to spend time in His presence or spend some time doing His will. We just do like, okay, I don't have time to pray now, I'll pray tomorrow. And then we just leave it like that. But Mary woke up early in the morning and went to the tomb to anoint the body of Jesus. But now she is crying because she couldn't do that. After that, we see Jesus standing behind her and then called her. She didn't understand or recognize who He was. She thought He was the gardener. And then when Jesus called her by the name, she saw and she believed. This is what happens with Simon Peter, John, with Mary Magdalene, with the disciples, and we know the story of Thomas. They only believed after seeing the mark in his hand. They only believed after seeing. But God has blessed us with a gift of faith so that we can believe without seeing. God will give us answers to our prayers. But sometimes we don't trust God. We don't see the answers. We don't do what God wants us to do, and then we just don't believe. That's what God said in John chapter 20 verse 29. Jesus said to him, Thomas, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. God has given us a blessing, the blessing to believe without seeing. But if we choose to not believe, your life is going to be so much uncertain and confusion. God has given you this gift of faith. Use it. Continue in your belief and share God's love. Thank you and God bless.